In early March of this year, I took a trip to north central Missouri to help a couple of landowners enhance their hunting properties. I just love this part of the Midwest. It's big open country with plenty of ag fields surrounding the area, and once you get in the timber, there's beautiful ridges, ravines, and hillsides. I spent 3 days working at a landowner's property where he had 3 or 4 specific locations logged pretty heavily where they took out mainly just the hardwoods. These areas had been identified, and we had selected them because of their potential for bedding deer and creating movement areas. Our goals were to create travel corridors, bedding pockets, and opportunities for harvest locations as well. When you walk into these large hillsides and ravines with treetops laying everywhere, you first need to walk around and kind of assess where can you make your cuts, how can you guide the deer that basically mimic their natural movements and allow the deer to go from point A to point B without many restrictions. And of course, because there's treetops and other debris down, a lot of cutting and clearing and openings have to be made. This is not an exact science, but once you've done it a few times, you'll find that when you look through the timber, the vision of movement appears. Hinging some of the small, non-valuable timber, taking advantage of treetops where they lay, and creating openings to utilize bedding pockets are all part of the process. And believe me, once you've done this a few times, you'll see it take shape right in front of you. We even found a few sheds and a hangar while I was working. This travel corridor was specifically built to parallel a ridgeline, and after checking it in the following day's snowstorm, it worked perfect. Not all trees get hinged. Some just need to be fallen so we can use them for barriers. This group of hinged trees not only created some bedding pockets, but side cover and visual screening as well. The third morning at the job site, I was welcomed with a blanket of snow. This allowed me to walk around and take some video and pictures of how the deer were reacting to the work we had just completed.
Hey, this is Jake, Habitat Solutions. I'm in north central Missouri, working on a landowner farm. Today is Tuesday morning. We were in here Saturday and Sunday, hinge cutting and creating trails and corridors and bedding pockets. This property had a select cut done first, where they came in and took some oaks and hickories and a lot of the hardwoods out. That was worth some money. It's going to make some good income for the landowner. Myself and another fella came in here and we worked on this property, and you can see right here we got some snow 24 hours ago, and there's fresh bedding all around me right here by these hinge cuts we just did less than 48 hours ago. And there's bed right here. I can see a half a dozen of them spread over there, and I just wanted to show you. People ask a lot, how quick does it know, or how long does it take before deer will use these hinge cuts? Well, there's been timbering going on in here. Guys with big skidders and equipment and noise. Evidently they moved the deer from one part of the property. This is a little over 100-acre property, and they've come right back in and they're bedding here. And I'm going to walk around, take a little video, do some close-ups, show you how the deer are utilizing it. And it doesn't take long once you put everything in the right spot that they want. So good luck and good habitat.
Real nice and slow. Do a pan over here. And I built a really nice corridor down here. I've got some bedding pockets up in here. I see a deer bed right there. And when I carved this out, you can see the hole I made, and sure enough, the deer are using it. And that's what I'm trying to do, is when they get into these, you can see it's kind of a tight spot. If there's other deer, coyotes in here, You gotta give these deer forward, right, left, backwards, all four directions, some exit lanes, or they're not going to use them. And boy, this is really utilized.
A year ago, I cut the east side of this food plot mainly to get more sunlight to it to keep it growing better, but we also created some bedding and travel corridors.
Yesterday, we got about 4 inches of fresh snow, and this is a good food plot right here. They get a lot of action on. But what I wanted to show you was when we did this cut last year, we created a travel corridor right here where deer could come and go through this gap. And you can see they're using it just like they're supposed to.
If you're not carving openings, removing obstructions, and allowing natural deer movement through areas you've recently had timber harvest in or where you've done your own TSI and hinge cutting, you're really missing the opportunities of predictable deer movement.